invisible chains being broken. You feel them, the invisible chains that bind your mind, your spirit, your purpose. Every attempt to move forward feels blocked, every breath weighed down by forces you cannot see. Moses knew this oppression, the weight of unseen attacks, whispered plots and hidden struggles that steal peace, hope, and clarity. Today, these chains threaten more than your day. They threaten your destiny. Psalm 35 cries out for justice when enemies operate in shadows. Psalm 70 urges urgency, declaring salvation when life is pressed to its limits. Psalm 91 promises protection in the unseen, the hidden, the spaces where danger lurks but is rendered powerless by divine authority. If you do not act now, if you do not surrender fully to the one who breaks chains, these invisible forces will continue to tighten. Fear, doubt, spiritual oppression, emotional weight, they will consume your focus, your joy, your faith. But there is hope. Even in the unseen, even in the shadows, God's hand moves to shatter every chain. Moses teaches that surrender, faith, and alignment with the divine unlock the invisible, releasing freedom, clarity, and victory. You are not powerless. The unseen is not beyond God's reach. But you must recognize your chains, cry out with honesty, and allow divine intervention to break them. When the hidden struggles are revealed, the chains you cannot see are often the ones that bind you most tightly. Moses understood that the fiercest battles are fought in silence, in the unseen. Psalm 35 exposes hidden enemies, those who work subtly to manipulate, oppress, and undermine, yet remain invisible to the untrained eye. Your mind is crowded with anxiety, your spirit burdened by guilt, fear, and unresolved conflict. Every whispered doubt, every hidden accusation, every unacknowledged pain is like an invisible shackle pressing down relentlessly. Moses experienced betrayal, misunderstanding, and opposition that could not be detected by the human eye, yet their effect was profoundly real. Recognition is the first step. The moment you see the chains for what they are, the subtle fears, the covert attacks, the unseen pressures, you begin to separate truth from deception. Psalm 70 reminds us of urgency. The longer chains remain unnoticed, the tighter they become. Human effort alone cannot release you. Your struggle is not a flaw, it is a signal that divine action is required. This is the space where awareness becomes power. By acknowledging the invisible chains, Moses, and now you, can begin the process of breaking free. The unseen is no match for God's authority, but it requires that you face it, not avoid it. The pressure, the weight, the hidden battles are real, but God's hand is stronger. The moment of crying out becomes release. Once the hidden struggles are recognized, the next step is surrender through honest, unrestrained cry. Moses demonstrates that liberation begins not with strategy, but with vulnerability. Psalm 35 and 70 guide us to pour out every fear, frustration, and hidden anguish, declaring them before God without reservation. In that cry, the chains begin to weaken. The invisible bonds that have dictated your thoughts, actions, and spirit respond not to human manipulation, but to divine attention. Moses' prayers were raw, desperate, and authentic. They exposed the weight of oppression and aligned the unseen forces with God's power. Your spiritual declaration, even in solitude, becomes a channel for intervention. This is the first call to action. Write a prophetic phrase, acknowledging the invisible chains and declaring your alignment with God's authority. You dare to confront the unseen with such honesty. Fear keeps many trapped. But those who surrender fully invite God to act on their behalf, breaking every subtle barrier. Desperation becomes a tool of power. Every cry is a declaration that you refuse to remain captive, that you trust the one who sees the unseen, and that you recognize his hand as the source of true freedom. Moses' journey teaches that freedom is not passive. It is activated through surrender, honesty, and prophetic declaration. Divine intervention shatters the invisible human effort falters when the chains are unseen, but divine intervention does not. Moses knew that God's power moves in ways the eyes cannot perceive, dismantling every subtle attack and hidden oppression. Psalm 91 emphasizes protection over the unseen, shielding the faithful while enemies remain blind to the work of the divine. Every invisible shackle, fear, doubt, guilt, spiritual oppression, is systematically dismantled when surrender and prayer intersect with God's authority. Moses experienced moments when what seemed impossible crumbled silently, demonstrating that God operates beyond human perception. Your hidden struggles are not too complex for his power. The unseen is his domain. The intervention may feel gradual, almost imperceptible at first, but each step of freedom builds momentum. Obstacles that once seemed permanent begin to dissolve. Patterns of despair, cycles of oppression, and covert attacks no longer hold sway over your spirit. This is the moment to recognize that victory is not earned by strategy, but received through alignment with God. Awareness and surrender open the door for the invisible to be exposed and broken. The chains that once defined your reality are now powerless. Walking through the valley, yet protected. Even after divine intervention begins, the path may still feel perilous. Moses walked through valleys where danger lurked unseen, yet Psalm 23 assures that the shepherd's presence shields every step. The invisible chains may have loosened, but trials and fear remain as opportunities to trust God fully. Here, protection is both active and subtle. The attacks that once oppressed you remain visible only to the divine. Your awareness of lingering tension tests faith, yet it also confirms that God is orchestrating the outcome. Moses teaches that walking through uncertainty with trust is part of the process. Surrender transforms fear into vigilance guided by wisdom, not panic. Psalm 91 reinforces that unseen forces cannot prevail where divine authority governs. You are covered, shielded, and led through every hidden challenge. Each moment of fear becomes a confirmation that the chains are broken not by human effort, but by alignment with God's will. This is the second call to action. Like and subscribe to help share the message of protection and deliverance, allowing others bound by invisible forces to receive hope and freedom. Relief, awe, and confidence grow as the path becomes clear. What once threatened to dominate your life is now rendered powerless. You begin to walk not in fear, but in assurance of God's invisible yet unyielding presence. From invisible chains to anchored freedom, the chains that once bound your spirit are gone. What was invisible no longer controls your mind, your decisions, or your destiny. Moses stands renewed, not by his own strength, but by the unseen hand of God working through surrender, prayer, and divine alignment. Psalms 35, 70, and 91 converge to reveal that freedom is complete. The hidden oppression is dismantled, protection is guaranteed, and your spirit is anchored in unshakable peace. Your journey from recognition of the chains through desperate prayer to witnessing divine intervention is now solidified. Fear and doubt may still whisper, but you now walk with confidence, guided by God's omniscience and authority. Every hidden enemy, every subtle attack, and every moment of past oppression has been neutralized. The invisible is now revealed as powerless in the face of God's intervention. This final chapter emphasizes full spiritual and emotional restoration. You are no longer a captive of unseen forces. You are fully aligned with divine protection and freedom. Your testimony is no longer despair, but victory. No longer weakness, but resilience. No longer fear, but anchored faith. Mandatory ending, emotional closure. Invitation to pray the Lord's Prayer. Transition from invisible oppression, fear, and uncertainty to confident, anchored freedom, establishing enduring spiritual and emotional authority.